Hey everyone, I'm feeling a little sad posting this video because it may be my last one on this app. If the TikTok ban does go through, I obviously won't be posting on here anymore. If you want to continue to follow along with me, you can go subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's the same name as on here, Headstone History, and I post the exact same videos over there that I do here on TikTok. I really hope this ban doesn't go through. I've really enjoyed the community we've built on this page. I enjoy reading all the comments and all the stories you guys post, and I also love it when family members find my videos and they get to learn about their family's history. I guess Sunday we'll just see what happens, but I did want to let you know you can go follow my YouTube and find all the same content. With that being said, let's get into the story. Mary Ann, or Polly Capps, was born on November 22nd, 1855 in Ozark County, Missouri. She was the oldest of at least 3 daughters born to James and Nancy Driscoll Capps. When Polly was born, her father was 20 and her mother was 18. She spent her childhood in Ozark County, Missouri on her family's farm. In 1876, when Polly was 21, she married 22-year-old Bartholomew, or Tall, Collins. After they were married, Polly and Tall began homesteading on their 150-acre farm in Ozark County, and they began their family together. Polly and Tall would have 11 children together, 9 boys and 2 girls. They would lose one baby when it was 10 days old, with the rest living into adulthood. James, William, Nancy, John, Laura, Charles, Floyd, Truman, Elsie, and Jasper. Polly would have her children from the age of 21 up until the age of 41. I did find more connections to the people buried in the abandoned County Line Cemetery. Polly and Tall's daughter, Laura, was married to Joseph Decker. Joseph Decker was one of the last few burials to take place in the abandoned cemetery, and he passed away from being in a car accident. Another connection this family had to the Decker family, Tall's father, Ephraim Collins, is who sold the store in Birdtown to Jonathan Decker when the Deckers first moved here to Missouri. I only found a few articles that mentioned Polly. Several were just speaking about visitors she had at her house. In October of 1921, I did find an article that stated Aunt Polly Ann Collins was thrown from a wagon a few days ago and injured pretty badly, but is reported better. Polly passed away only 7 months after falling off the wagon, which made me wonder if that might have contributed to her death. Polly passed away on May 31st, 1922 at the age of 66. Her death certificate stated her cause of death was a fatal stroke of paralysis. Her son Jasper was the informant on her death certificate, and much of her family history was marked as unknown. The only information Jasper was able to answer about Polly's family was the name of her dad. Polly was buried in Parsons Cemetery in Ozark County, Missouri, under a big, beautiful cedar tree. Polly and Tall had been married for 46 years when she passed away. After Polly passed away, Tall lived a long life until the age of 92. He continued to live in Ozark County, and sometime before 1930, he remarried another widower who was 21 years younger than him. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but Tall married Levice or Vicey Freeman Smith. I also noticed that Tall and Vicey's first spouses died less than 1 month apart from each other in the same year. Another connection to a video I made a few weeks ago, Vicey's first husband, Timothy Smith, was the brother of Manuel J. Smith. I found several newspaper articles about Tall. Once he turned 90, several newspapers interviewed him about his life. He spoke of growing up in the Ozarks, his mother making all his clothes, and how people all made their living hunting and farming. When Tall was interviewed for the article, he was 90 years old and still living on the same farm he started with Polly 70 years ago. The article stated 30 years before, the original log cabin that Tall and Polly built had burned down, and he had built a new one. This house is still standing today. Polly passed away around that same time. I'm not sure if she was alive when their house burned down, and I'm not sure if she ever lived in the new house that he built. Tall said he was always a farmer except for a short time when he helped his father run the store in Birdtown. He said shortly after he married and started homesteading, there was a terrible drought, and he wanted to leave his farm and move his family to Oklahoma, but his father convinced him to stay. Another interesting piece of this article was Tall talking about his tobacco use. He stated he started chewing and smoking tobacco when he was 4 years old. He said it frequently made him sick, and he would roll around on the floor and the house would move with him. He would vow never to use the stuff again, but after feeling better, he would start using it again, which continued for 50 more years. He stated he did eventually quit tobacco. He also said he never drank coffee, and the only liquor he ever drank was forced on him. Tall passed away in 1946 at the age of 92. His obituary said he was at home when he suffered a cerebral hemorrhage or a stroke, which put him in a coma, and he never regained consciousness. He was buried next to Polly in Parsons Cemetery on the other side of the cedar tree. When Vicey passed away, she was also buried with her first spouse in a different cemetery. There are several Mary Collinses buried in this cemetery. So when I cleaned this stone, I didn't know she was the same person who was married to Tall Collins, and she was also the same person on the granite marker. The top of Polly's stone says, "The Lord is my shepherd," and it has a detailed carving at the top with a cross and sheep. But unfortunately, someone has caused damage to the corner of it. Her epitaph says, "Faithful to her trust, even unto death." My family tree showed that Polly is my 7th cousin, 5 times removed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I see you guys next week. Rest in peace, Polly.